Okay. This is my first video, so I don't really know what I'm doing, but I want to talk about JJ and Deji, KSI and Deji, his little brother, because I'm sure as everyone knows that there's having beef at the moment, and I just find it a bit stupid. I just think that there's points that no one's been mentioning, and it's not just this subject. It's a lot of subjects that no one seems to mention basic points that they don't seem to understand about YouTube drama and beef and whatnot. So I thought I'd start a channel and sort of give my opinion on stuff like this because I think I give a better opinion than most, like Keemstar or Kavos or whatnot, because they're just a bit generic and made for kids, I guess. But to begin with, I'm gonna talk about KSI and Deji. I've written a few notes about what I'm gonna talk about, and the first thing I want to talk about is JJ's God complex that a lot of people seem to be describing. This is described by Deji himself, I believe, and Quideka in his diss track, and I just, it's just not. He doesn't have a God complex. I've been watching JJ since 2011 or so. I was like 11 years old. I'm 17 now, so it must have been about 2010. But back in the kind of, raps diss track like football Balotelli and fucking Joey Barton and those old school videos. That's when I started watching KSI and Deji, his brother. So I feel I know a decent amount about KSI, despite the fact that I've never met him or spoken to him. But I believe that I do understand him slightly. So I want to talk about his God complex that people talk about. I completely disagree with the God complex idea. What people don't seem to understand about the entertainment business is that you can't be this nice guy who everyone loves and you're nice to everybody, because that doesn't work. You don't sell tickets, you don't sell pay-per-view, you don't get views, you don't get money. You have to be a prick to earn money in business and entertainment, and that's what JJ's doing. Um, this can be like seen with Conor McGregor. He chats a lot of shit, and he pisses everyone off, and he's this funny guy. Tony Ferguson as well, although I think he's different. He is a bit like that in real life, but I think with Conor McGregor, it's sort of an act. It's an act to get more money, get more views, get people to like him slash dislike him. Controversial. That's what gets money. Controversy. And during the kind of Logan Paul KSI boxing match, that's exactly what they did. They had a Conor McGregor figure and they had a Khabib figure. Obviously, Logan Paul being Khabib, Conor McGregor being KSI, the Nightmare, and whatnot. So basically, what the roles are is one is, oh, I'm the victim, I'm innocent, I'm a nice guy, and then the other is kind of, oh, I'm gonna beat you up, I'm gonna destroy you, blah blah blah, JJ. And that's how it works. That's with almost anything in entertainment. That's when there's two people arguing or fighting. There's always either side, almost always, and it works. It gets views, it gets tickets, people watch it. For example, this morning in London, 5 a.m. There was the Brian Ortega versus Max Holloway fight. Both those guys are really nice people. They're really genuine and humble, and they had a brilliant fight. 4 rounds. It was fucking fantastic. Better than the Khabib Conor fight, but it sold less. There was less hype for it, even though it was much better. Much better kind of match up. Two brilliant fighters going for the title. Very even. Well, Max Holloway's a bit, I don't talk about UFC, but kind of two nice guys sell less tickets. One meanie, one good guy, more tickets, more views. That's where JJ's God complex is. That's not genuine JJ. Genuine JJ is a nice guy who gives his friends money, not because he's self-conscious and like, oh, I want friends. He gives his friends money because he's a nice guy. He has a lot of money and he understands he has a lot of money, so he does good with it. And to say he has a god complex is ridiculous. Like you see him with kind of when he meets these famous celebrities. He did a video of Michael Bisping, like a UFC video, like a mixed martial art video, and in it he was very nice. Well, not a nice, but he was kind of, he understood that Michael was above him in the social ladder. He understood he was more experienced in life. He understood he was a, I don't know, I don't know how to describe it. Yeah. So what happened with that is that's JJ's true nature, sort of. in that video, which I'll show you a clip of now.
Good stuff, man. Well done. I appreciate it, man. Good
No,
stuff.
thank
Good
you.
stuff. Pleasure. Good job. Good job.
In that you can see that he's very like jokey. He's very ha 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 ha, not bumlicky, but kind of, he's humble. And then you see him with Logan Paul, where he's all, oh, I'm gonna beat you up.
Look up to me, bro. Look up to me, bro. I'm looking up to you, bro. Yeah, bro. It's just like you are gonna be August 25th. I'm looking down at you, bro.
It's not a god complex. He does it to sell tickets, to get entertainment. If he was a nice guy, and he was all this family man, and he was nice to everybody, the boxing event wouldn't be huge. It wouldn't be the biggest event in YouTube history. Like, you have to understand that. I don't think Deji understands that. And the true JJ is not someone who kind of is a prick to his family. I think, although, despite that, I think he has been, I don't know, not talking to his family as much as he should, I guess. That seems to be the idea. So, I don't know, it's a confusing topic 'cause it's family and it's hard to talk about, but like, I don't know, you have to understand, Deji needs to understand that KSI is like this to sell pay-per-view, to sell entertainment, to get views, that's how it works. So yeah, that's my first point. He doesn't have a god complex, it's all just an act to get views. The real KSI is a nice guy. The Sidemen understand that, that's why they're still friends with KSI, because they know who he really is, the true him. Yeah, so that's my first point. The whole god complex idea, it's not a god complex, it's just it pisses me off when people say that, because it's just an act. And there's nothing wrong with that, you have to do that. It's what makes people successful. That's how humans work. We like when people battle, we like when people dislike each other. We enjoy that kind of stuff as human beings. It's natural. I don't have a problem with that. Deji needs to understand that it's just an act. The real KSI is not this guy. He wants to get views from his family or whatever the fuck he's saying. Like, it's just bollocks. And that brings me on to my second point, that Deji needs to grow up. And he's very immature for his age. I mean, he's what, kind of young 20s now. The Sidemen were talking about when he was living in the Sidemen house, he would never clean up. He would eat shit food, he wouldn't do his washing, he would just be a mess. And he needs to grow up, and he says he doesn't like the Sidemen, and I think that's because they're more mature than him, because he's very immature, and he does need to grow up, because he's kind of, it's good that he has a relationship with his family, but you can't live with your parents your whole life. Like, he has to understand that. So, to begin with the Deji needs to grow up, he went to his parents to ask for help with the whole KSI thing, and there's sort of good in that, but there's also sort of bad. You have to be a man when you're kind of that famous, that much money, that young. You have to kind of grow up faster than everyone else. You can't just go to your parents, go, oh, KSI's hurting me. That's what a little brother would do when you're a teenager, less than a teenager, like kids. Like, you have to grow up. You have to go to KSI and be like, we need to talk about this. Not go to your mum and get her to cry on the phone. Because that's what he does. He plays the victim, and he's not innocent. We all know that he's not innocent. I mean, to begin with, he talked about the whole abortions with JJ in his diss track. 4 abortions, was it? You don't bring that up. You don't talk about that. Like, he's so out of order doing that. It's ridiculous. JJ doesn't do anything on that scale to Deji. He may tell embarrassing stories about Deji with girls. That's an older brother thing to do. That's normal. There's nothing wrong with that. Deji can tell embarrassing stories about JJ, not be like, oh, you had 4 abortions. Like, you can't just do that. You have to grow up. You know what I mean? And, like, he needs to understand that. And the fact that this all started off from Randolph saying that he had a dead channel, like, Jesus Christ, it's not that deep, you know? And I know it doesn't all stem from that. Like, he's obviously been holding it in for a while. So, yeah, I understand why it's coming out, and it's not because of that. But to even get offended by that and make a video on that, like, come on, Deji, grow up. You don't need to be so fucking self-conscious of yourself. Like, have some confidence. You've got 9 million subscribers. Like, you need to have some confidence in yourself and believe in yourself, because you can't just go around making a video when everyone says that your channel is dead. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't know. And also, my other point about Deji is that he's recently done a podcast with Logan Paul, and I find that, honest to God, the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. That Deji thinks that's a good idea, that anything good would come from that. I mean, are you serious? Like, fuck me. Basically, what he did there, Logan Paul, is he realised that Deji's incompetent and immature and doesn't understand life very well. So he was like, how can I get one up on KSI and piss off KSI so I can get this return fight? And he managed to do it. Deji went on his podcast, even though his brother told him not to. KSI's smart, Deji's not, unfortunately. Going on that podcast, and then the cheek to say that KSI was manipulating the viewers. Believe me, I know when someone's trying to manipulate me, KSI was not manipulating the viewers by making the Dear Deji video or whatever. He is probably, almost definitely, genuinely upset about this whole situation with Deji, and he probably wants it resolved, and he doesn't want it public. That's obvious. None of the sidemen have reacted to any of Deji's shitty diss track on KSI or any of the videos, because KSI told him not to. He doesn't want views from this, he doesn't want fame, he wants to just sort it out. But Deji decides to make a diss track with 3 melts from America and go on the Logan Paul podcast and get manipulated by Logan Paul. I mean, you can see in the video Logan Paul joking with his friends, being like, this guy is dumb as hell. Like, even in the thumbnail, I'll show it there, you can see Logan Paul's laughing. Deji, I mean, come on. How did he think that was a good idea to do? Like, Logan Paul is manipulating him. Like, I don't understand how you don't realise that. Like, it's ridiculous. He's a grown man, he doesn't realise that someone's trying to manipulate him. And all the time he's going, oh, so you hate your brother like me. Oh, tell us more about that. Like, Deji. He's just trying to get facts from you, he doesn't care about you. He's trying to be this nice, warm guy, and Deji believes that. He's not a nice, warm guy. He filmed a dead body. Like, that's not a nice, warm guy. I mean, I still understand how he's been resurrected from that, and he's got no backlash from that. YouTube's a mess. Google's a mess. I don't know how it works. But yeah, that's my point about Deji needing to grow up. Like, he's very immature. He's very mentally young, and he needs to grow up. Yeah. But however, my third point is that JJ has been a prick to Deji in the past, and you can see this in kind of the videos that KSI did with Deji back in the day. Old school KSI fans remember when he did. Okay, I'll show a couple examples now.
Hey guys, it's Comedy Shorts Gamer here. I'm with my brother. Basically, we're playing Five Nights at Freddy's. What? 4 AM? No, what we're doing? I know, I'm doing it. You're just there.
Okay, just wait. Alright, turn around.
Slowly or fast?
Medium. La 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 la, they don't exist.
Oh my god,
they don't exist.
Oh my god,
they
oh
don't
my god,
exist.
Oh my
They
god,
Stop that, bro. I can't be asked.
Not now, in a second, but like, I'll explain it first. Basically, when he did scary videos on his channel, he'd be and he'd be all jumping about and be like this funny KSI guy that we remember, and it was funny, it was hilarious. That's why he was so big at the time. However, when on Deji's channel, you can see that he's kind of, he's such a bitch. Like, he was a little bit kind of, he was very out of, it's like he couldn't be bothered to be KSI. Instead, he just wanted to be the older brother on those videos, and I think that is a little bit out of order from KSI. And obviously, Deji's been pissed off from that since then, 7 or 8 years or whatever. It's been building up inside of him, like, oh, he hates me. I don't think he hates him. I think he was just being an older brother. That's what older brothers do. My older brother does it. If I had a younger brother, I'd do it to him. It's just how it works. You're not going to be this big, fluffy, jumpable, likable guy when you're with your younger brother, especially if you're making a video with him. You're going to be the older brother who's kind of, you're a hard nut, you know, you're mature. You don't want to be young and jumping about, like, and that's what we saw back in those videos. And I think if JJ's going to be one character on his channel and a different character on Deji's channel. That's out of order. He shouldn't have done that. But I think Deji mistaked that for KSI not wanting him to have a channel. It wasn't that he didn't want him to have a channel. It's that he didn't want him. Didn't want to be seen as JJ didn't want to be seen as immature. He was very self-conscious back then, and he didn't want to be seen as this kind of I don't know, immature guy who hangs out with his brother and is, you know, he doesn't want to be that guy. And that's kind of continued and matured all the way up to now. So kind of 7 years later, he's still a bit like that when he's around Deji. Although I think he has sort of got better over time, and he's more kind of he's not jumpy and fun, but he's not like that at all. He's a bit, you know, he's a different guy than he was back then. Anyway, my next point, or my conclusion to finish off with, is that this is what I think needs to happen basically with the two brothers to fix this. JJ has to decide whether he's the nice guy or the nightmare, whatever he was against Logan Paul. He can't be both. You can't be fun and lovable and really close. Well, you can be close to your parents, but you have to keep that behind wraps. JJ is not talking to his family enough. That's obvious. He needs to talk to his parents more, not just his mom, but his dad and his brother. So yeah. So first point, JJ needs to decide who he is, what he is, how he acts in front of a camera, how he acts behind the camera, because I think he's a bit confused at the minute. He's still a bit like, who am I? He's still searching for himself, I guess. And that's normal. He's still young. We forget that he's not even 30 years old. I'm not even sure how old he is, but he is young. He's still growing. He's still maturing. Same as Deji. But yeah, JJ, you have to decide who you are and how you act in front of different people. Yeah, so that's what JJ needs to do. He needs to decide who he is, and he needs to understand how to act, because he doesn't really have a clue, and I don't think anyone else has a clue, because Deji mistakens it for having a god complex when it's not. I know that it's not. Yeah, so KSI needs to decide who he is. That's my advice for KSI, and my advice for Deji, kind of grow up, mature. I know I'm 17. It's kind of a bit patronizing to hear that from me, but like, you need to be an adult now. You've had your fun. You need to grow up. I'm not saying move out of your parents' house, but start looking, maybe start thinking about it. Start doing your own laundry. Start cooking your own food, stuff like that. Just because it's not too late. You're still young. You can grow up, but you need to do it soon, because otherwise you're going to be 30 living with your parents, and you don't want that, Deji, believe me. So yeah, that's sort of, yeah, that's, if this ever gets to Deji or JJ, which I doubt it will, but yeah, and do take my advice. I'm a kid, I understand that, but I think it will help you. And I think the most important thing is to be honest to people and to be nice to people. It makes you happier. Believe me, it does. It makes you so much happier. And everyone should take that advice, not just those two. Be happy. Yeah, that's basically what I want to say. Okay, oh, thank you for watching this video. I don't really know how this channel is going to work. I might just stop it and get lazy, but I don't know, I quite enjoy these. I feel like I have good points to make about certain subjects, because when you look for kind of the drama channels, you see the Cavoses and the drama alerts, and it's just like, oh god, you feel like you're sitting with a bunch of 9-year-olds, and it's, I don't know, they're very loud and shit, and it's just like, oh fuck me, kind of, yeah. So I want to give a slightly more mature look in it, even though I'm a kid and I'm a teenager, but like, yeah. So if you like these kind of videos, I'll do more. I'll do them on any subject, anything that's interesting. Leave recommendations in the comments, I guess. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much.